Good day, everybody. I have just finished AMT's 1965 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88, and I'm off onto another project, and this is it. It looks like a mess. And we're going to see what we end up with afterwards here, but the top is broken off, and the window frames are gone on the front of it. It really looks to me like this thing's been molded in black at one time. So I'm not sure what kit this is. This might have been a promo. And so anyway, there's the windows. They've got, there we go. It's got paint on it, but I can get that paint off without it being a problem. The front is going to really give me some work because it is scraped up, and we're going to have to get the polishing kit after that big time. Somebody, it looks like, even has their initials scraped into it. So anyway, that's going to be fun. The chrome for it, actually, it looks to be in fairly decent condition. That doesn't look too bad. Little touch-ups here and there would do it. The body is in decent condition. It even still has the hood ornament, which is rare. And so make sure I don't lose that. But yeah, I don't see a whole lot on that. I'll have to make the new windshield post for it there. And interior is all complete. It's been painted at least 10,000 different times, it looks like to me. Okay, there we go. So there's the interior. And it looks decent. Like I said, I'm going to guess probably 3 or 4 times it's been painted. And once again, I look at this underside here, and that looks very much like promo-ish. I've not seen one like this before. So I'm not sure. I've had a lot of these Lincolns taken apart, 59 and 60 Lincolns taken apart, and I've never seen one quite like this before. The chassis is very, well, it's toy-like, and yet it's decorative, but it does not have an engine cut out. Now, they would not have. Let's see. 59, 60. Now, Lincoln did not have an engine until 61, I believe. So it's hard to say what this is. But interestingly enough, it is not a screw bottom. So this might have been some sort of toy. So I don't know what I've got, but I'm going to play around with it. It does only have the 2 wheels, so I will probably axe those wheels and put something else in there. Some custom type wheels or something on that. I'm not sure what we're going to have happen with that. But anyway, this is a mess. And we're going to see if we can't make a model car out of this mess. And so stick around. This could get really good. This could be a lot of fun. And I know that I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. It's going to have to take a little dip into the pond to get rid of that green paint on there, that's for sure. So keep watching, everybody, and let's see what happens with this. I'm trying to think of a nice word, but I think all I can really think of is mess. So we're going to see what happens with this mess. Well, I've been working on this 1959 Lincoln. I thought it was 60, but it's a 1959 Lincoln I've been working on. And this thing is really interesting. Number one, they painted it with house paint or something. It did not come off with any the products that I usually use for removing paint off of plastic. I just about had to scrape it off. And yeah, it was quite the ordeal in getting that paint off. It was brush painted. And yeah, I think they've used house paint or something because it did not want to come off. And but I got it off. At least most. I mean, you can still see little traces here and there, but nothing that's going to hurt anything. I've got the body all sanded out, smoothed out from that. And now this is an interesting body in that I don't think it's a promo. I'm not sure what it is. I've torn apart a lot of these old Lincolns, old AMT annuals. This is an AMT, at least some sort of AMT mold, I think. It's hard to tell what it is because the body itself looks promo, but the chassis, instead of having the holes for the screws, has these plugs that came up out of. There's one there that's not broken. The others are all broken off. There's one there. And this is where the promos and the kits had screws. And this one is obviously that this is something was done at a factory that had these little posts that went up into it. The axle and tires, they look promo-ish. And the chassis itself, I mean, really, for the most part, it looks promo, but it's just that... and then it's molded in black. And all the promos I've ever done have been molded in the white color and then painted the colors. But this is all, as you can see, molded in the black. So it's going to be interesting. I have not done any research on it yet. I mean, it's probably something simple. But, yeah, I've got to do the research. As you can see, the vent posts, I've got to replace those. That's the biggest thing I've got to do on this. But thankfully, on this card, those were a straight vent post. They were just, straight line. That won't be hard to rebuild those at all. This will be a very simple one here. The chassis, I mean, that was, oh man, I'll tell you what, trying to get in there and get all that paint off of that. I went ahead and just painted that a flat black in there. I'm not going to get too carried away with it. So, yeah, that was, that interior was something else. Yeah, that, like I say, when they painted it with whatever they did, that was a problem. And I'm not going to get too worried about the rebuild on this in here. I'm not worried. I'm just going for shelf quality is all that I'm worried about on this one. But mostly just for the fun of saving it. The tires and wheels that are on there only had the back ones anyway. And I'm probably going to try and find some like wire wheels or something like that to put on there. Something more interesting to put on this one. Spike it up a little bit. I have no idea what color I'm going to do this in yet. I haven't really thought that far ahead. It's just mostly been getting it torn apart to see if it's even worthy of rebuilding. I bought this actually with a bunch of other cars to go into the junkyard. Same with that 60 DeSoto that I've been working on. Those were both bought to go into the junkyard. But just as I've been working on them, just kind of go, let's try saving them, especially that 60 DeSoto. I mean, that's those things are getting pretty doggone rare. Anything Johann is getting very rare right now because Johann is not doing much. So I decided to try and save these two, and we're going to see what happens with them. But it's kind of fun because, this is something I've never run into before. And I've started modeling in the year this car is made, 1959. That's when I started modeling. And in all that time, I've not seen anything like this one before. So it's kind of fun when you have these things come up like that and you go, what is this thing? I've never seen it. So we will come back later on and show you some more work that I've done to it and show you how we're progressing on it or regressing, as the case may be. Well, now, as I'm working on the 1959 Lincoln, I have the top glued on, and I'm ready to do the vent posts on it. I had been planning to do those with the top off, but it's just actually going to get me better measurements to do it this way here. I was going to use actual measurements, but this time I'm just going to actually just use it, measuring just as I see it. So we're going to make a little mark right there, so at the top of that mark. And we will move the car body over there, slide this down and give it a little cross thing. I'm going to actually be using my X-Acto knife on it. I could use a cutter. I've got all kinds of things, but I kind of want a bit more accuracy. Pardon me. Here I'm trying to see what I'm doing while at the same time letting you see what I'm doing. And between the two, neither one of us was seeing what I was doing. So pardon my weird speech at that moment. But can you see? Okay, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to cut that nice and straight there. Well, semi-straight. Let's make it straight. As straight as it needs to be. Now we'll fit that into the car and see whether we got it where we want it or not. Let's see, which tweezers do I want? Let's try these old beater tweezers. They seem to be the ones that do the best job for me. Yeah. I'm not sure how to do this yet, where you can see it and I can see it. And where maybe I can actually get it done. Oh my gosh, is that perfect or is that perfect? Good grief, that's nice. That's tight. Okay. And when I glue this on, I'm not going to worry about if I get a little glue on the body or not. That'll sand out. Okay, so we actually had it just slightly lower than what I wanted. I'm going to use, no, actually for setting this, I'm going to use this glue, the Bondine. I want this to bond fairly fast. I'm going to just do the top part of it. Let me work this where you can see. That's the whole idea of having this set up like this, is so that you can see too. Okay, so I'm actually going to try my fingers in this thing and see what happens. And let's see how that works there. I've got it backwards, figures. I knew it was going in too good. Okay, are you where you are? You are where you are. Okay, trying this again. Got to get the top part first, actually. And I want to do this with as little sanding as possible when I have this all together. Okay, so let's try a little bit more glue up there and down there. I don't have a lot to work with on this bottom here. Wow. Okay. Can you still see? At least you can. I can't. There we go. Oh, well, there we went. I just knocked the whole daggum works out. Boy, that was really swift of me. Let me tell you what. I should be a movie star or something as swift as I am at this stuff. Great comic act, I bet. I bet I could be a great comic act. All I got to do is act naturally. There's a song about that or something. All I got to do is act naturally, and that would be me. Okay, see if I can get this thing undone. I need about 6 more hands to do what I'm trying to do. Okay, now, can we get this at all? Now, this is plastic weld that I'm using now to kind of weld this into place. Okay, so what I did was I used the plastic weld. It's still Plastract. And let me see if I get it out of there. So this is what I used on that to really bond that together better. So we are not looking too bad here. Don't mess with it. You got it good enough. A little sanding if I have to. Don't mess with it. So let's hope it'll stay. Gives you a nice comedy show to watch here. Hey, Ma, come watch this idiot try and glue in this vent post. Guy has no idea what he's doing, but he's entertaining at least. Okay, so there is that. Get you back on camera here a little bit. Sorry to have you off camera so much. Maybe I'll be able to edit some of that around so that you're not off camera as much as you were. So anyway, the piece that I'm using is 60 thousandths by 20 thousandths. No, 60 by 30 thousandths is what I was using there. And I'm actually trying to look that up right now. 60 by 80 thousandths. I thought there was a little thing. Yeah, 60 by 80 thousandths on that one there. Because what we're going to be using on the vent post on it now, that was a windshield post there, is at 60 by 30 or 30 by 60 by which way you look at it, I guess. You're pessimistic or optimistic, maybe, I don't know. Okay, let me work this with both hands. So now let's see which side we're on this side, and we've got to turn that way there. Move this back a little bit. And we're just going to hit this. Oh, it's good. That went all the way down there. We're going to go ahead and hit this one again, too. Make sure that's in there good and tight. Bring that down so that glues back down over that. There we go. So anyway, yeah, so now that's the bonding, or the plastic weld right there. The other one that I'm using is still plastic, but it's bonding. And that's a thin, they're both thin, but it's a little bit thinner, and it dries a lot faster than what the weld does. Weld dries a little bit slower, but it's thicker and more effective for holding parts and basically gluing them, welding them together. That's why they call it a weld. And I am babbling, but I'm good at that. Okay, so now this is going to be the hard one because, as you can see, 60 by 30 is not the easiest stuff to work with there. In case you haven't noticed, I have had the cats up on my workbench here. So let's see what we can possibly do on this. Oh, wow. Trying to mark that where you can see what I'm doing, and I can see too. And there we go. I'm going to cut that just a little bit to the long side of that mark. Just a little to the long side of it. Got you off camera, but that's okay. All I'm doing is cutting this piece of plastic here. That's all I'm doing. Okay, now with that on the long side, I can take a look and see how my mark shows up. Okay, gotta come out just a little bit. And there is my mark. There is the black, the body, and it's actually at the bottom of where I came out at with that line. There we go. I know what I'm saying. I'm not sure it doesn't make any sense to you, but I'm able to see what I'm doing. Okay, a little bit more. I like cutting them off just a little bit at a time to make sure that I'm not cutting too much. Helps to hit the line. There we go. All right, so here we go again. Let's try it on there again. And we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Just a stitching off each time just to get it there. Am I there? I do believe I'm there. Where are you bent, or are you bent? Or is it just the way I'm looking at you? Is that bent? Seems to be okay. All right. So let's try this and now and see what happens here. What I want to do is just get that top started first. Okay, there you can see what's happening there. That's the plan on it anyway. We don't know what's actually going to happen here. And I'm gluing it so that I can get a feeling of where I'm at on it. I may still have to cut just a sliver off of that yet. I think, what's this on here? Get off there. my file list and stuff on it. There we go. Now you ready? Oh man, I gotta file some more on that, but almost hate to. It is so close. But I'm going to. Bye-bye. I think I'll kill the body in the process. Okay, trying this again. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see what it does. You come back over here again. I actually want you going this way here. Do I gotcha? Oh, come on, baby, get in there. Oh, man. Oh, that is so close. That is so close. I think I can go ahead and glue it then. Good enough glue on here, maybe it'll stick. Okay, now this goes this way here. I've got a little bit of an angle on that because there's a little bit of an angle on that top vent post. Okay, that's got to straighten a little bit, but almost. Let me glue that top good. It's got to straighten at the bottom. Come on, give me plenty of glue here. There we go. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. Work this baby over here. Come on, babe. Over it. There you go. Oh, we got it. We got it. That's good. All right. Wow. We did it. We did it. Can I get it to stay long enough to bring it over here? And let's get some weld onto it. Let's see if I can get some weld onto it. I'm not worried about that drips getting onto the body there. Bring that back over here and let it drip right back on. I've got to do some sanding on that top anyway on the inside. Okay. So there we are. There we are. Wow. We got it. That was a trick. Now we've got another issue here in the chassis. Okay, as you can see on this chassis, there's still one post left on this. I don't know what, I don't think this was a promo. I'm not sure what this thing was. I've never had one like this before. But that post goes up into these. Well, in this era, they had these are what they call screw bottom. And they had a real kind of funky, cool-looking screw that went up into those, through the chassis up into that. And in this back here, there's still one that's a post that's broken off in there. So and I'll be doing that off camera, but I'm going to have to try and get this one drilled out and then cut those open, and then I will be putting screws into this like I should have been to start with. So we're going to let this dry here for a while. I'm going to work on that, and then we will come back and we'll progress from there and see what's happening with this. So anyway, this is what we were working on, is just getting those vent posts in there. They were all broken off. And yeah, that was quite a little bit of a challenge, but it's going to be fine. And I'm thinking it's going to look good once it gets all painted and you get the bare metal foil on there and everything. It's going to look fine. So yeah, just a sliver. Is that too much? Okay, now we're going to glue that again, and hopefully this time it's actually ready to go in. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens here. I think that sliver may have been too much, but that's okay. I've got a lot of this stuff to work with, and we shall see. Okay, well, what about this side here? I might make it on this side here. I'm going to try it and see. If it doesn't work on one side, you always try it on another side. Now, I've got plenty of cat hairs here. come that close, I just stick a cat hair in there. It doesn't want to let go where I want it to let go at. And I think my glue dried already. That's the problem with this glue, is it dries in a hurry. There we go. That's good. I know I'm going to get glue on the body, but let's try it this way. Let's try it this way. I think I need to give me some more glue here. There we go. Now I got glue on. I got glue on everything. Okay. Whoops. Do it right. Do it right. This is why I usually don't show my work, is because I'm just kind of a hit and miss on things. Let's get rid of some of this cat hair. It's cramping my style. I have no idea where you're at, by the way, on view here. I've kind of just been all over the place with this thing, trying to get it to go. Okay, well, one more time, and if this doesn't work, then I'll cut it longer. This is just enough to fit into this hole. It should actually be perfect. There, got it. There we go. Okay, and I probably was totally working off camera to you guys. But there it is. The wing windows for the Lincoln. And we've got it. So we're going to turn this around this way. We're going to get this glue, trying to open it with one hand. There, it actually was working. So we're going to hit that and that. And hopefully that is all we need of it. So now that's the plastic weld now, to try and weld that in good. All right, so there we go. And sorry if I was off camera to you a lot. We'll see if I can do better on this other side now. So what we got to do is we got to cut this to go into there. And we're going to get a long mark on it here to start with. Get a long mark on it. And cut it. Now let's see where we are at on it now. Let's see where we're at on it now. Okay. I know just about how much I want off of there. We'll try that again. Now we'll try putting it into there. Wow, okay. All right. Actually, I want to flip that around like this here, I think. Oh man, I've got to do a slight trim on that. I'm going to try with the file instead. Maybe that, I'm taking too much off when I cut. We're going to try with the file instead and see how that does. What's funny is I got all that measuring equipment over there to work with, but it's over there and I'm over here. And I'm too darn lazy to go over and get it. So I will spend 10 times as much time on this as I need to doing the test fitting. What's this on here? Get off there. My file lists and stuff on it. There we go. Now you ready? Oh man, I gotta file some more on that, but almost hate to. It is so close. But I'm going to. Bye-bye. I think I'll kill the body in the process. Okay, trying this again. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see what it does. You come back over here again. I actually want you going this way here. Do I gotcha? Oh, come on, baby, get in there. Oh, man. Oh, that is so close. That is so close. I think I can go ahead and glue it then. Good enough glue on here, maybe it'll stick. Okay, now this goes this way here. I've got a little bit of an angle on that because there's a little bit of an angle on that top vent post. Okay, that's got to straighten a little bit, but almost. Let me glue that top good. It's got to straighten at the bottom. Come on, give me plenty of glue here. There we go. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. Let's work this baby over here. Come on, babe. Over it. There you go. Oh, we got it. We got it. That's good. All right. Wow. We did it. We did it. Can I get it to stay long enough to bring it over here? And let's get some weld onto it. Let's see if I can get some weld onto it. I'm not worried about that drips getting onto the body there. Bring that back over here and let it drip right back on. I've got to do some sanding on that top anyway on the inside. Okay. So there we are. There we are. Wow. We got it. That was a trick. Now we've got another issue here in the chassis. Okay, as you can see on this chassis, there's still one post left on this. I don't know what, I don't think this was a promo. I'm not sure what this thing was. I've never had one like this before. But that post goes up into these. Well, in this era, they had these are what they call screw bottom. And they had a real kind of funky, cool-looking screw that went up into those, through the chassis up into that. And in this back here, there's still one that's a post that's broken off in there. So and I'll be doing that off camera, but I'm going to have to try and get this one drilled out and then cut those open, and then I will be putting screws into this like I should have been to start with. So we're going to let this dry here for a while. I'm going to work on that, and then we will come back and we'll progress from there and see what's happening with this. So anyway, this is what we were working on, is just getting those vent posts in there. They were all broken off. And yeah, that was quite a little bit of a challenge, but it's going to be fine. And I'm thinking it's going to look good once it gets all painted and you get the bare metal foil on there and everything. It's going to look fine. Well, as we're moving along on this 1959 Lincoln, I guess promo of some sort or another, I have the interior completed on it. There wasn't much really detail to work on that. So that I did that in just like a gold, and I think I actually used rust and then black. I didn't get too carried away with it. A little trim on the dash, but I didn't get much carried away with that either. But it came out all right. The chassis, nothing too it. I didn't even bother to paint it or anything. It's just the way it came. I did change out the wheels, and searched in my parts bin. I came up with some white walls, wide white walls. I'm trying to think of the word for that. And then some custom hubcaps. I usually use those on custom models, 50s type customs. Put spinners on them, but I decided to just use those the way they are here. So that's all that I've done with that. They're just the small axle too, so they're a little sloppy in there, but they work. I used, let's see, what was that? Revel Chrome spray I used on the grills, front and rear grill bumper outfits. And they didn't come out too bad. It was an end of a can. I've been having trouble getting that stuff. It's either hit or miss on it for some reason. And yeah, so the can I was using was a little old. It didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to, but for this car, it was good enough. The body, I have got the, let's see, what was it I had to do on this body? Can't remember. Oh, I know what it was. The vent post and windshield pillars. I had to do those, and I've got those done. They didn't come out too bad. Since it was nice straight line, thank you, Lincoln, for that, giving me nice straight lines to work with. There were some broken pieces back here that I just kind of worked those the best I could. And yeah, so it came out fairly decent. I'm pleased with it. I've still got a little buffing I have to do on it yet here and there. But for the most part, it's all right. Yeah, so the color I used on that is a tester's color. Let's see, 1846 MT pure gold lacquer is the color I used on that. About 2 coats of that. And that's about it for what I've done to this so far. I've got to do the assembly now. And that's going to be it. We will put it together before too long. I've got to find screws for it yet. I drilled out the holes where the pins had been on this. I drilled out those holes, and I'll put screws in there of some sort to hold that with. Well, the Lincoln is ready for assembly. 59 Lincoln. This is an old promo. I'm assuming that was AMT, and I'm assuming it was a promo. I'm still not completely sure yet. Yeah, it's a very strange model. I've never run into one quite like it. But we're going to see what happens with this thing. Let me first get something to set this body on. Set that there. Let me move the body out of there. Move that out of the way. Okay, so the body actually came out pretty nice. A few little things going on with it here. You know, I just didn't get all that carried away on it. It's an old rebuilder and enough issues that it just really wasn't worth going too far. But anyway, so we're going to flip this thing over on its top. And the interior is all put together, glued together. I mean, there's 3 pieces for the interior. The steering wheel, the dash, and the interior. I mean, it's all molded in, as you can see there. It's all just molded in. And it looks to me, if I remember right, that this just snaps. If I can figure out how to get it in there. Snaps into place. Maybe, if I can get it lined up. Okay, so that lines up there. That just pushes on there. On there. Oh, that's easy enough. And doesn't look like it needs any glue or anything because it fits. I think it's fitting tight enough. Should be all right. Okay, so I mentioned before that I used Revel's chrome paint on the front and rear bumper grill assemblies. This one here, I had one car that I did right before this one, and this one ended up the very last bit in the can. So yeah, I was able to get it out okay, but it's a little, it's not quite perfect like it should be. But then, like I say, the model I'm working on isn't all that perfect anyhow. So let's slip this in and see if I can get it on there. That one wants to push on a little bit hard to get onto that. Well, we'll work that out. Okay, so now we are onto the body. Like I said, all I was doing there is just pushing this on. Trying to get that to line up. That's as far as it goes. Not quite perfectly lined up on It is lined up on one, but not on the other. These back here are both lined up perfect. So let's put the chassis on and see what we get. Is there any special way on some of these you have to kind of fiddle? I guess there. Oh, I want to check that wheel. I've got a wheel that's a little angled on me. It just didn't seal in there good tight. Okay. Well, fixing that wheel is all I'm doing there. I was kind of off camera for a second, but we're back on camera-ish. I don't know that I'm ever actually fully on camera. Okay, so let's see what we can do about putting this together. Where's my screwdriver? I think I can use this screwdriver. Let's try that. And we will see what happens here. Let's angle this down a little bit here while I'm working this close to me. And drop that into there. This little screwdriver can be enough. Some of these things are really tough to get on. So angle that down. So far, so good, I think. Seems to be going down okay. But I had to go through my parts bins, screw bins and stuff like that to find a set of screws that would work. I couldn't find a set for right now. These will work for now, and then I'll put different ones in later. But I found 2 pairs of screws. And we'll see what happens with them. Okay, that went in good. Turn it around. And we will try the other end. Let's see, are we on camera? We're on camera. Shove that little monster in. As you can see, these axles are really loose here, but they work. And that screw is a straight screw, and this is a Phillips screwdriver. That could have been thought out a little bit better. I could have planned that one a little bit better. Shoot, I don't know if I've got a straight screwdriver. And what's in here? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do. I got plenty of them. Okay. Grab the biggest. Okay, well, we'll try this again. I hate straight screws because they're always so tricky to get. Boy, that almost went in too easy. That thing just flipped right down in there. Let's see, that didn't work. That didn't work. This is the one that's not quite lined up. So it's going to give me a little bit of a fit. Oh, not bad. It's tight. Okay, well, I mean, I'm not too happy with those tires and wheels, but they work. There's still some pits and scratches in the body and stuff like that. There were just so many of them that, you know, by the time you get them all, you find more. And yeah, so anyway, so there we are with that. Well, I guess I can use this here. Are you going to stay on there? Doubtful. Nope, we're not going to use that. Okay, well, we're going to just do this by hand then. So anyway, this is the back end. Let's see, can we raise this up a little bit? Maybe that'll work better. So, okay, the back end really came out nice. That Revels Chrome really works nice. I mean, even when you're down to the very last bit of it in the can, it still came out pretty doggone nice. A little sputter here and there. The back one I painted first, and it was better than the front. I got just a few little splotches here on the front where it was kind of going, guys, you're at the end of the can. And, of course, I don't have any more. I've got to order more. So, yeah, but it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Someplace around here we're not quite done with it. I've got a hood ornament for it, if I'm not mistaken. I think I do anyway. Couldn't remember if this and had. I ought to look back through the film and see if it did have hood ornament, but I thought it did. but I'm not seeing one. Okay, well, I'll have to look through the film and see if it did have a hood ornament or not. And we'll just see. Let me take a real quick look here before we sign off on this one. And because I thought it had a hood ornament. Like I say, it may not have. So let me pause a little bit and we're going to come back and we're going to see. Now I can call it done. Had to search for the hood ornament. I had left it in the paint booth, of all things. When I'd sprayed it with the chrome paint, I had left it in the paint booth. And yeah, I forgot about that. So anyway, now we have this one done. I can actually call it done. 1959 Lincoln. Like I said, the big thing on it was repairing the vent posts. That one there and that one there that had to replace. I bought both sides. And the back side here, that was broken free. But these things were still glued in so tight that I couldn't get them down where I wanted them to be. So they would come off smooth across there. So I just went with what I had. I mean, basically, this Lincoln was purchased to go into the junkyard. That's it came in with a bunch of other things, and it was going to go into the junkyard. And I just decided I wanted to try and see if I could save it. And you know, I can say that I saved it. I'm not sure about there's a piece of hair I'm trying to get off of there. I do believe that's cat hair. Yep, kitty hair. Let's do that. There we go. Now I'm happy. Like I said, I got this to go into the junkyard and decided to see what I could do with it. If there's any way to save it at all. I still think I probably should have put it in the junkyard. It'd be like a lot of fun sitting in there. But we saved it to some degree. So with that in mind, this is a 1959 Lincoln that I have no idea whether it is a promo with some sort of a kit. I just don't really know. I've had 59 Lincolns before. I've never had them molded in this color. I've had promos and I've had kits both. I've never had one that was like this one. Never, ever. So, and I probably ruined some value on it, but what the heck, I had some fun with it. So, with that in mind, this is Doug, the Modeling Hermit, and I am off the air, and I'm gone.